Hello, welcome back to another episode of Charla Football. I'm your host, as always, Gerardo, with my co-host Tomas, and I want to talk about the most important question that has been going around Liga MX for the past, I want to say, year or two. Tomas, is Liga MX in its prime? But before you answer that, just think about that. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, check out all the platform links down below. So yeah, Tomas, let me know. What are your thoughts on this very important question that a lot of people in the Liga MX community have been talking about? We just finished La Jornada 3. What we saw over the weekend was spectacular football, reaching 31 goals in match week 3. The last time we saw almost that many goals was back in 2022, match week 11 of the Apertura 2022 season. I think there was like 34 goals, so we were very close to from breaking that little record. But yeah, I mean, yesterday the match week 3 was just intense. There was a lot of golazos. It has a lot of people talking about like, oh, this is Liga MX prime. This is Liga MX in its prime. You agree with that?
I mean, I'd honestly, this is probably one of the moments where you're kind of just thinking like, a lot of these teams look very well. I mean, look, like the Toluca match, you didn't expect Toluca to lose at home, first of all. But you
Yeah.
also didn't expect Tigres to be able to capitalize on so many Toluca's mistakes. And then you go to the Chivas match, it's a lot of mistakes as well, but then it's Chivas coming back.
Mhm.
And it was just insane. I think Liga MX is in a point right now where we have so many good teams where it's just unexpected what's going to happen.
Yeah. I agree where you said there are a lot of good teams. Where I don't fully agree is just like really the competition. I mean, we're looking at teams like Querétaro, Santos, uh, Mazatlan, Puebla, like the same like 4 or 5 teams that are always struggling. They never aspire to anything. Every time people talk about this statement or this question, if Liga MX is in its prime, I say that financially, I think Liga MX is in a much better moment than in years before. Obviously, bringing in players like Ramos, James, Chicharito recently, even though that's a whole different story now. Who are some other big signings? Okay, Lord Navas, basically
So
bringing
now,
all of prime Real Madrid, bringing them to Mexico.
yeah,
Angelito Correa too, Paulinho, who's at Sporting. We're bringing a lot of like top European players to the league. Got obviously getting a lot of eyes on the league too, and then also at the same time, a lot of the youngsters are performing, and a lot of it has to do with the Regla de Menores finally instilling that once again. But it's been working. It's been working for a lot of the teams of bringing out players like Gilberto Mora, Elias Montiel, Iker Fimbres. Marcel Ruiz has been in the orbit for like years now, and maybe even going to make that jump to another team in the future. But like I said, financially, I think we are in a moment of our prime. Sportingly, I guess you can't tell because we're not playing these major competitions like Sudamericanas, Libertadores. We saw in the Club World Cup, Monterrey went somewhat far, I guess, past to what was expected. I guess most people probably expected Liga MX teams to get grouped, like Pachuca. They did. They disappointed in that regard. But Monterrey, they kind of exceeded the expectation. I think it's all up into interpretation. But yeah, so do you feel like it is in its prime or not? Yes or no?
I feel like yes, because look, we look at the competitions that we do play internationally, which is typically the Club World Cup, the short format,
Hmm.
and in the past three matchups versus South American teams that we've had in the Club World Cup, including this past one,
Yeah.
we haven't lost, and it's 2 wins. I mean, we Pachuca beats Botafogo, and Tigres beats Palmeiras.
Hmm. And then both reached the finals, losing against like obviously some of the better teams in the world.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like yes, I get the importance of playing international tournaments. I get it, but when we have played in international tournaments, we've beaten the South Americans. So we know that we're either there with the South Americans or even above them because we have not lost to them.
Yeah.
So it's just like Europe is obviously the big thing.
Yeah.
Europe is where everybody wants to go to play. It's where football comes from. So it's kind of just like we're in a spot where you can't say, "Oh, Liga MX is like a terrible league." No, it's not. It has
Yeah.
decent players. It creates decent players. Even the Mexican youngsters that come throughout Liga MX are very decent players. And we've just seen that in the past few years. I mean, Mateo Chavez going to Europe. We have signed a lot of youngsters this past season to Europe.
Yeah. Even not even just the Mexican players too, but like looking at the players that we take from Sudamerica, looking at someone like Richard Rios, or Maxi Rodriguez, who went to Sporting and then scored against, I think, Manchester City. Who else? Trying to think of like recent. Julian Quinones, but he is Mexican now.
Uh,
Uh,
America has sent a fair amount too. The center back, I forgot his name, but they've also sent Marchesin to Porto.
Marchesín too. Yeah, there's always been a decent amount of like investment from like Liga MX, and I feel like recently it's definitely grown. Both for the Mexican players, for the young South American players, and then also bringing in experienced European players. Like I said, I think, it's all up into interpretation. Let us know what you guys think. If you agree with us, if you agree that Liga MX in its prime, I want to say I agree with it, but I just don't fully believe it, only because we just don't see it. Like, I mean, maybe if we had like Ascenso and Descenso and playing Libertadores, then I'd be like, oh yeah, hands down. If we were like constantly,
I mean, it's just like we beat the Libertadores champion with a 17th place Pachuca.
that is
You know,
true.
a terrible Pachuca team.
Yeah, I mean, but like, there's always the excuse that like, oh, both teams had to travel, and Palmeiras had like a very long season, or not Palmeiras, Botafogo had a very difficult season, because
So
it's true, the Brazilian league play more grueling matches than Liga MX teams.
when it's just like, then I'll ask you, is it better to go in with momentum or to be the 17th team in the Liga MX? Because no team, there is no excuse for a South American team to win the Libertadores, to win the Brazilian league, to have played 70 plus matches and not have a squad that's able to beat a 17th place Liga MX team.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Like, they had everything in their favor. They had the momentum of being back-to-back champion. Like, they should have beat Pachuca. I mean, like anything in football, like anything can happen. It was a shock. I don't think a lot of people expected Pachuca to beat the Brazilian champs like that 3-0. But I mean, their only real test is seeing them, go to their competitions, not in a neutral place, but like going to Brazil, going to Argentina, playing all those matches in Chile, like how we used to. I guess then you could really say. I feel like we've had better moments in the league. Yeah, we weren't signing superstars, but we had, teams like Chivas smacking like giants like Boca Juniors, teams like America smacking River Plate, like things that were just this was just normal for us. But now, like, we don't really, it's kind of like sparse.
But my thing is like, why would we go to CONMEBOL if we've always been punctured by CONMEBOL?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've seen it in the 2005 in the, what was it, in the Sudamericana. Pumas is taking 2 penalties off that were valid, whereas they gave, I think it was Boca at that time, 2 penalties where the goalie jumps off the line and he blocks it for Pumas. So eventually they were punctured by that. So why would we go into a competition when we play a neutral competition? We smack the fuck out of them. Why would we go?
I guess you. I mean, at the end of the day, the only real way to grow is facing adversity, and that's
because,
why.
like, if you think about it, a lot of Liga MX teams, since they were punctured, they wouldn't make back the money that they would spend going to Libertadores.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say I think it was Vergara that let out that was one of the owners that said, we went 5 years back to Libertadores, and we made more money winning the league in 2006 than going 5 years back to Libertadores, where they made quarterfinals and semifinals. So it's kind of just like, it doesn't benefit you. We've seen the talent that they have in South America. It suffices bringing them here and playing against them. Suffices them bringing to the Liga MX and playing with them.
Yeah.
So that suffices. Because if we're able to play them once in a blue moon and smack the fuck out of them, then why would we go play them every day? That means we would just drop. The only thing South America has is Brazil, and that's it.
Yeah.
At that point, you just talk about Brazil joining CONCACAF in the tournament league.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be nice. At least some sort of like competition, how we're seeing coming up, like the Leagues Cup, and we see like MLS versus only Liga MX teams. That'd be cool to see something like that, or like an emergence of like a mix of Brazilian teams and like MX teams, or like Argentinian and Brazilian teams versus MX teams. That'd be cool to see. Because, like, I mean, although I would love to see Copa Libertadores and MX teams back in Copa Libertadores, realistically, it's not going to happen because of the reason that you just said. It just economically, it doesn't make sense for a lot of the owners, and we know that all they really think about is their pockets and their money. While Sporting League would probably make sense, I mean, you get more eyes, more talent, like, exposed to adversity. Because how you were just saying, for that same reason, where like a lot of the times, like CONMEBOL referees perjudicaban a los mexicanos. that's still like an adversity that you have to face. You have to go through those kind of things, because if you're constantly in your comfort zone, where the fuck are you going to grow from that?
No, yeah, I agree. I could see that, but it's kind of just like the Brazilian team. Brazilian teams have won like what the past five Conmebol Libertadores,
Yeah.
and it's kind of just like we played two of their winning teams, and we both of them. We beat both of them. So it's kind of just like your best team. Like let's say one time it happens, like okay, might have been an accident, but two times it's already just like it's something that is developed. And think about the teams that beat them. Tigres and Pachuca, two teams with different ideologies. Tigres and Monterrey like having the best players. Period. They like having the best extranjeros with a mixture of 2 to 3 decent Mexicans, and that's it.
Yeah.
Pachuca likes developing young Mexicans. They have Montiel. They have what was his name? Brian, the one that's played for Chile now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of just like two different ideologies inside of the same league were able to defeat Brazilian teams. And it's kind of just like, and this is the best they have. What I would advocate for is Brazil going to CONCACAF.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be sick. Let us know what you guys think. Would you like to see Brazil and CONCACAF? Obviously, like this is just our own idea, but that'd be amazing to see more like competition. Because I'm tired, kind of leading a little bit into what's going to happen within the next few weeks. Liga MX is going to take a break, and then we're going to see the Leagues Cup coming to the U.S. Mexican teams will be in the U.S. playing against MLS teams. And I mean, it's cool, we get to see like our favorite MX teams in our cities, but like competition wise, I don't really think there's any real benefit, because I mean, yeah, I'm sure most of these people will take it serious because there is a lot to play for, but I mean, your MLS isn't the best league in the world at the moment.
And it might not ever be, because it just can't compete economically because of its health. I mean, they have the money, they don't want to be able to spend the money. It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would be nice if we were able to invite like to the Leagues Cup, like instead of bringing the full 16 Mexican teams, bring top 8, let's say, and then top 4 of Brazil and top 4 of another nation. And it's kind of just like
it'd be our own like, Copa Libertadores. You can name it something else, but it would be like a CONCACAF style,
Yeah, and at the end of the day, if you think about it, when I shout out Brazil, I'm saying this because Brazil is the one that can economically keep up with North America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. That'd be sick. Last thing before we wrap up the episode, I just want to talk about the past 3 jornadas. We've seen a lot of drama, a lot of epic moments so far in the first 3 match days. Who have you been left most impressed with? Who have you been disappointed with? And I mean, I don't know if it's too early for predictions, but do you see like who could be the favorites to win everything this season off of what you saw in the past 3 games, or you think you're gonna need a little more time?
I say, fuck it, let's just say something we could think of right now.
Some outrageous shit, some clickbait worthy shit.
Yeah, whatever just comes to brain. But
who's been the best so far from what you've seen though? Like, just honestly,
it's fun. Like thinking about it, it has to be between. It's because Pachuca is leading with 3 games.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then it's kind of just like Tigres has only played 2 and they won both.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, a lot of people say what happened yesterday in Toluca was an accident, which I do believe was very lucky for Tigres, especially on that 4th goal.
I mean, a lot of it had to do with Turco's lineup. He saved Vega was on the bench, Marcelo Ruiz was on the bench. A lot of his key players probably saving them for the Leagues Cup.
Yeah, probably. I see that because I mean we know how the Leagues Cup is, where you have to be well traveled and it's gonna take some fucking time to get used to sleeping on in the airports. But it's just 2 little games. But I'd say Pachuca looks the best.
Okay, just because of the 3 wins, right? They're the undefeated.
Because of the 3 wins, but it's also who they beat. They beat Monterrey.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Pumas, which I get it. Pumas didn't have the best players yet. They didn't have to get
a lot of mistakes as well in that match.
And it's kind of just like they beat Mazatlan, but that was pretty much expected at this point. Beating Pumas and Monterrey.
I think the biggest shock was the Monterrey win on the first match week.
Yeah, no, for sure, especially the 3-0.
Yeah, no, it's not expected from a Jimmy Lozano team for sure.
No, yeah, I did not expect Jimmy Lozano.
Yeah, no, I could go with that. I'll get behind you on that, just because they're undefeated. You can't really take that away from them. And
it's kind of like the players they use, right? So I mean, Aceves at left back, I haven't heard about him in a while.
No, a lot of young players. Montiel, Alan Bautista has been getting goals as well. I mean, shout him out real quick. Who else? Pedraza as well. We've seen a lot of like most of their almost 11, starting 11 is almost all Mexicans.
Yeah,
They don't even have Rondon anymore because he went to Spain.
and the Pachuca Monterrey match, you can't really excuse them because like they started with Stefan Medina, started with Rodriguez and Ramos at the back. They had Iker Fimbres, which you could say, yeah, Canales usually starts over him, but I mean it's fine. But you still have Oliver Torres, you still have Arteaga, you still have Tecatito Corona and Berterame starting.
You still have class players, maybe not elite level, but they're good players.
Yeah, they're fairly good, especially having Ramos in the back line. It's kind of just like that's a given that there's going to be very few goals, and they were able to score 3.
Mm-hmm. So I agree with you. I'll take that.
Let's do it differently. Let's say like those TikTok ones. Let's say like who will make it to quarters, or it's like who would you eliminate off bat? Who makes it to repechaje, quarter, semi, and who do you think is gonna win? I mean, right now thinking of like who's just like off bat, not gonna make anything is Querétaro.
Okay, yeah, it's easy. Mazatlan, for sure.
Mazatlan, all right.
Puebla, sorry.
Now it's team that I think can make it to repechaje. So you said Puebla. Puebla like off discarded for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So now repechaje, I think a team that could make it into repechaje would be like Atlas.
Yeah, they had a decent start.
Yeah. Now a team that who do you think is gonna get eliminated in quarters? Like makes it to quarters, gets eliminated.
Maybe a team like
I say Tijuana makes it quarters and gets eliminated.
Okay. I was gonna say Santos, just because like they finally had a decent start to their season.
1 win, 2 loss.
I mean, 1 win, 2 losses. But that win against Pumas was a important win for sure.
It's pretty decent, yeah. I agree.
Actually, maybe no. Actually, no. I don't think they'll make it. No, you're right. Maybe a team like
I think Tijuana could make
Pumas. I'm gonna throw Pumas in there.
Pumas gets eliminated in quarters. All right. Now, who do you think gets eliminated in semis?
It hurts me, but Chivas.
I feel like Chivas can make it to semis and be eliminated, but I'm gonna go with
just because like the top like 3-4 teams are a little stronger than Chivas. And looking at teams like Cruz Azul, Toluca, Tigres, and then you said Monterrey could get eliminated in quarters. I agree with that.
Oh no, semis.
Semis? Okay, semis.
Semis. You think Chivas get eliminated in quarters?
No, I meant semis.
Semis. All right. Now, who do you think makes the final? Just 2 teams.
I see Toluca, honestly, because they have pretty much same squad. They brought in some pretty decent players too. And yeah, they had a fluke game against Tigres, but that's only because they're resting players for the Leagues Cup. They obviously want to put some importance into that as well. Yeah, I can see Toluca definitely going to the final once more. I don't know about America. I really don't see them making the final just because they've had a pretty decent, like not decent, but like iffy start to the season. Maybe we could see Toluca Tigres once again in the final because I don't see Pachuca making it into the final. Sorry.
Yeah. Right now, they either say Toluca Tigres or
Cruz Azul. Yeah.
I feel like Monterrey can make it as well, but I just feel like they just always choke in the semis or the quarters.
Yeah. Unless they get their shit together in the like ending of the season. Right now I just don't see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me know if you guys agree with that. If you don't agree, just let us know in the comments. Please make sure you guys subscribe, like, check out all the platform links down below. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Thank you, Tomas. Peace out.